Hi, my name is Sarah Daniels, and I'm the Recruiting and Operations Manager here at Inspiring Capital. Today, I'm going to tell you guys about the IC, Inspiring Capital, MBA Impact Fellowship. It's a summer 2021 cohort that we are recruiting and accepting applications for currently. And we're going to go over the logistics of the program, and I have a whole session outlined for you. So let me share my screen, and I will outline the session, and then we'll go into a short video to start off. So as I mentioned, here's the fellowship slide. Really excited to talk to you guys about this virtually, even today. And even though it is a passive recording, super excited for you guys to learn about it and to see if it's the right opportunity for your summer. And so we're going to start off with the session overview, just showing you what we're going to be talking about in the next 30-ish minutes or so. So I'm going to start off with that impact video. It's actually the video on the inspiringcapital.ly homepage. So we're going to go through that first. Next, we're going to tell you about Inspiring Capital as an organization. We're going to talk more about that summer fellowship, logistics, where our fellows are now, the next steps, dates, and deadlines, and then any questions and answers that we've maybe had from previous years. So I'm going to move over to that video now. So here it is.
We help people understand what they're good at and how to use their skills to contribute to social or environmental change that inspires them. These inspired professionals then drive our consulting work, helping organizations across the spectrum of impact, nonprofit or for-profit, to address significant challenges. Our community is working toward a healthier, more prosperous, equitable, and regenerative future. Join us, powering purposeful growth.
And there it is. We'll go back to the PowerPoint now. So yes, as you guys saw, that's the IC legacy. And so to tell you guys a little bit more about Inspiring Capital, Inspiring Capital is a New York City, typically in a non-COVID world, based B Corp. We're a very proud B Corp. It's a very hard certification to get, and we wear it as a badge of honor of how we conduct business internally and externally. It's just a different set of standards. If you haven't heard of a B Corp, you should look it up. They're super, super neat and really just raising the standards, again, internally and externally, on how you do business and your expectations around treatment, progressive thinking, business practices, and so on. So again, we're a B Corp that offers learning and development services for professionals and organizations, and connects world-class talent with purpose-driven companies to expand and enhance their social impact. You can see, as you did in the video, our founder and CEO, Nell Derek Debevoise, is over there on the side. She has an amazing Forbes column if you guys want to learn more about her thinking and hear more of her kind of thought leadership around social impact, fellowships, training and development, and so on. And then on the bottom here, I'm in a couple of these pictures. And so these are both different models of the fellowship, this summer impact fellowship, virtually and in person. And so typically in previous years it was in person, but with COVID and then also just shifting the model to be a little bit more accessible to more MBAs, we have shifted to a fully virtual setup and programming. And so it is now a virtual from anywhere kind of program, even though we would love to have some more possible meetups in person built in sometime maybe in the future. So about Inspiring Capital again, our mission as an organization is to guide people to meaningful lives in all the ways. And I'll read you our mission statement here. So our mission statement is that IC exists to give others the permission, the invitations, tools, guidance, inspiration, and accountability that we all want and need to grow purposefully towards our wholehearted potential, so that together we can build healthier, fairer, more inclusive, equitable, just, and regenerative teams, organizations, societies, and economies. That's a mouthful. At the end of the day, we do want to help people and guide them towards meaningful lives. And we do that specifically through our professional development, purpose, and impact content and programming. And in a fellowship model. So we believe in the power of fellowship models to leverage the power of peer accountability, expert webinar speakers, and just really good content that you can move through and then integrate because you're making meaning of it over a significant period of time. So a bit about the summer fellowship. I have my little spiel here, so I will go through it. About our summer fellowship, so the fellowship is now in the 8th year, and it is a professional development opportunity that provides the knowledge, tools, and community for the MBAs committed to doing and using their business education as a force for good. I don't know if you've heard that term, but business as a force for good has been kind of taking over the world, especially in the social impact space. And so if that's something you're really committed to, you're in the right place. The program is fully virtual, designed to be a complement for any summer internship, regardless of location, industry, or project assignment. This is an unpaid professional development opportunity, just to be clear. And so it is vital that you pair it with a paid internship during your summer so that then you can leverage the tools and support. We give project support specifically around the work that you're doing in your internship location. So there are 4 main aspects and areas to the summer fellowship, and then 2 on the screen that I will go through as well. The first one is that the summer fellows, we call all of our participants summer fellows. They benefit over the course of these 10 weeks through 1, self-paced learning and reflection. So that first bullet point underneath training, 50 plus hours of professional development and training is what we offer our fellows. And we do that through both expert webinars with speakers across sectors, industries, and backgrounds, and also reflection and learning tools that you can work through on your own time and in your own space. The next one is facilitated peer learning, which is with like-minded, purpose-driven MBAs. The cohort is all over the country typically. And so that third bullet point underneath internship, a bi-weekly project group time, encouraging peer learning and sharing, that's where that's built in. So underneath your internship, you are able to talk about your projects and get all the richness of that peer learning time because we build in time that you get to meet, talk about work, Inspiring Capital during the summer. And then finally, we offer project support to enhance internship performance, including deliverables, deliverable templates, expert introductions, and advisory conversations. And so that is the second bullet point underneath internship support through office hours and IC's library of resources. So again, those 4 are that self-paced learning and reflection, expert webinars, facilitated peer learning, and project support. A couple other goodies that we offer are the expanded professional sector network. And so you are able to be introduced and connected with any of the alums of the IC's now 8 years running program. They used to be consulting projects, and so they had very specific projects in the past. And so because the fellowship has just shifted in 2020, that is new for our alums to hear for as well. And so there might be a little bit of nuances between the programs, but overall we've taken the best of those 8 years and taken the professional development side of things and then made it into this summer fellowship that you'll be getting in 2021. And then a couple other things, exposure to the social sector, opportunities and challenges. Those are built into those expert webinars. And so there's speakers from various different sectors that are now embedded in social impact companies or environmental kind of conscious companies. And so you get to hear the ins and the outs of those speakers, those alums most likely, and expert speakers on those topics to hear about the challenges and opportunities that their organizations and their roles are facing. And then, like we said, we are no longer providing that consulting opportunity, that internship paid opportunity for our fellows like we have in the past. So you get to now choose your own summer internship placement. And that's really exciting because it's getting the best of both worlds. Maybe you have 2 opportunities that you're narrowed down to, the IC one and another opportunity. Now you get to select both. And then let me just go into a little bit more about the fellowship before we go on to the next slide. So like I said, it's now in its 8th year, and this program is highly selective. As you know, it's a 10-week virtual program, and it's all of these, learning, reflections, and practices help our fellows grow purposefully into high impact professionals. And we do that through covering the different topics of the latest thinking in social and environmental impact, as well as skills and personal development tools required to navigate a successful purpose-driven career. So I want to elaborate on that, but you'll see this in the training sessions. So as I said, it's 10 weeks and it's broken down 50% and 50%. So half and half with these different webinars. We toggle between the two, between that professional personal development and then going over our spectrum of impact. That's a framework here at Inspiring Capital. And so that kind of half arch at the bottom there that you can see, there's 4 sectors of government, or 4 sectors of impact. So you have government, nonprofit, social enterprise, and corporate. And we work our way through those and we use that as a model for our speakers. So sometimes we do have speakers from the government or speakers from the nonprofit sector, speakers from social enterprises, and speakers from corporate sector. Other topics we go through to speak to that social impact section of content is donut economics, the UN's SDGs, and the list goes on and on. As for the other side, that professional and personal development, we use the IC's, Inspiring Capital's Me, World Impact Framework. And so that is believing that impact lives, breathes, and should be grown on all 3 levels: a personal level, me, we, collective level, and world, just expansive. All of the world crises that are going on now, and what does impact look like on all 3 levels. And then the programming is fully centered around and largely consists of different work to discover and activate your individual purpose in yourself and how you then activate that in a team setting. And so those are just some, again, of those topics that we go over for the training sessions. And so again, best of both worlds: social impact exposure, learning, and that personal professional development, time, speakers, and just prioritization. So moving on to a week in the life of a fellow. So as we mentioned before, there's kind of 2 sections to this learning opportunity. There's the self-paced learning and reflection, and then there is that expert webinar piece during the week. So the self-work looks like 30 to 60 minutes of pre-reading for each live session that you'll attend, being weekly. We do that through and on the Thinkific learning platform. And there also are additional resources to go deeper into any of the topics that we bring up. And so there's a snapshot of Thinkific there. Super easy and intuitive to use. It's nice to have everything all in one place. And then moving forward, we have had our weekly sessions on Wednesdays, but we are able to adjust if the cohort needs to all move to a Thursday. We can keep that in mind when we set those dates at the beginning of the summer. And so we typically had them on Wednesday nights after your internship concludes. And again, you know about the training sessions, the 5-week of IC content, that personal and professional development content, and then 5 weeks of that peer learning webinars being around social impact content specifically. And so some pictures there of our cohort talking over one of those peer learning webinars. So some of these webinar speakers in the past, we have had really amazing speakers. And as you can see here, founders and CEOs, innovation executives, senior advisors at the UN Global Compact, and directors, portfolio directors. And so there's been quite an array. Some are alums and some are not. And these are just some of the goodies. We wanted to give you an example of some speakers you might hear from. And then hearing from our fellows, their opportunity with the IC the IC Summer Fellowship. These were 2 of our fellows from summer 2020 when the program did change and had that big shift. So they talk about, finding a greater sense of purpose during the summer and learning a lot from their cohort members through those weekly seminars. And then I love this quote from Emmanuel. He says, "Inspiring Capital helped to really clarify not only my why, but how to actualize it." And if you know the my why, Simon Sinek talks about, what is your why? And then we take that one step further and say, presently, what is your impact that you're having? So mapping your impact. And then also saying, that why is kind of another word for why do you do what you do? Where do you want to go? What is driving you? And we call that purpose. So discovering that and activating that during the summer is one of those key takeaways and key goals for all of our fellows. And even if it's just a starting point, purpose statements can shift and mold, but helping them come away with more direction in their career, and helping them be and become those purpose-driven professionals, in the social impact world and across industries, really. And then from Neha spoke about feeling that it was a safe environment to talk about her purpose and dreams and challenges, especially during COVID. And then she said that if you're looking for growth in terms of finding your purpose, chasing a field you're interested in, or truly understanding how to connect yourself to the world, this is the platform. I love that because that speaks back to that me, we world platform and framework that Inspiring Capital operates from. And then who should apply? So we encourage first-year MBA students to apply who are committed to growing purposefully in their work and life. There are other bullet points here as well. We would love that our fellows have a sincere and demonstrated commitment to purpose, are curious, flexible, adaptable, and comfortable with ambiguity, work smart and have impeccable professional standards, and then would be an awesome companion if we were stranded in the airport together for more than 12 hours. So that is who we at Inspiring Capital look for. It's really important that people are comfortable with ambiguity. It can be a very trying time to try to figure out what your purpose is in life and to put that into words, and then seeing how that looks on your, on that me level, that personal level, that we level in your internship that summer, and then the world. And so there's a lot of ambiguity to work through. And so it's really important that you don't need things to be super crystal clear, that you can be okay with questions, that you can ask a lot of questions about yourself and for yourself, and be really curious when it comes to learning from these webinar speakers, because it is such an opportunity to have them before you, giving you their time and their space and their attention, and having those, question and answers with them through the materials that you work through during the summer. As for the impact, we have seen that fellows report feeling more purposeful and motivated as a result of their learnings in this program. And that's represented by that thumbs up sign and that smiley face here. So 83% of our fellows reported that the tools and insights from IC helped them collaborate productively with colleagues or classmates during the summer. And that smiley face goes to feeling motivated at work. Again, 83% felt that the IC tools and insights helped them feel motivated to do good work, presently and going forward. And then some other statistics to go through here. Fellows reported a 70% increase in their familiarity with the field of social enterprise, and a 40 to 50% increase in familiarity with nonprofit and CSR. And then as for professional, social sector networks expanding by 150% over the course of the summer, really any connections you can make in the field are so important. And we have people embedded across various industries across the world, international, and they were just powerhouses, all of them. And they are what we call hybrid talent. So being very excellent professionally and also very passionate and driven as a purpose-driven professional. And then a quote here that I love too from Tay. So Tay said, it's an exceptional opportunity. Nowhere else will you be getting this much and quality personal attention and resources dedicated to your development. The key is that it is an opportunity. You get what you put into it. And that's so right, where if you don't show up to webinars or you don't do the pre-work, you're really not getting the most out of the program. So when we do our applications and when we do our interviewing, we vet heavily to see if you are that hybrid professional as well, to join that IC alumni community eventually, being that hybrid talent of that passion and also that excellence. So where are some of those alums that I keep talking about now? You can see that they're across that spectrum of impact, from some in the government, corporations, social enterprises, and not-for-profits. And they hold a variety of titles as well, from associates to managers, directors, specialists, and so on. Anything from HR, operations, and purpose statements really help with that, of like figuring out your strengths and connecting that into the roles and the work that you're going to be best suited for in life, and maybe the next step of your life. So the next steps are actually to do the application. It is now open. You can find it on the link here, inspiringcapital.ly/fellowship/MBA. And again, I'm Sarah, so I'm on this slide. You can follow us on social media, reach out to me, and we can set up a time to speak. I'm happy to get you on my calendar to speak to you personally. But do the application. It's super simple, cover letter, resume, asking or answering a few questions. We'd love to have you in the batch and see if you would be one of the fellows sponsored actually for the summer. So I do want to go into that a little bit. The fellowship is valued at over $2,000. And for our IC MBA Impact Fellowship, we sponsored 12 to 15 fellows spots in the cohort. And the rest of them, we are playing with the model of having multiple cohorts during the summer, and we will place you guys accordingly based on our system. But because it is such a high value, we only take a select few for that sponsored spots. If there are other interests, if you do not get one of those sponsored spot offers, you can reach out to us and then we can go from there. So the application process for those sponsored spots looks like this. Application due mid-December, December 18th, like I said. We have a recorded video interview early January, homework assignment and a phone interview late January, and then finally that live group interview mid-February. So it is a very in-depth interview process because again, it is such high value. We invest heavily in our fellows and we want you to be the best fit for IC and also that alumni network to keep serving each other going forward and the next round of IC MBA fellows coming through. So a year as a fellow looks like this. The 10-week program during the summer is just the start. Then we do some interview coaching. We have coffee chats, webinar 2.0. So some more webinars are available to our alumni. And then finally, we help with networking. And then to elaborate a little bit further what this 1 year looks like, the timeline again starts off with that 10-week program in the summer, but alumni do help with the recruiting experience in the fall. They are featured on a lot of our webinars as talking about the program, the benefits, and making sure to help other MBAs know if this is the right opportunity for them. Webinar 2.0, so we invite alumni back to be part of webinars and to learn from webinars as they approach the winter months. That events kind of look like coffee chats with like informational coffee chats with alums or others in the network to really leverage the alumni network and learn from each other. And then interview coaching, we have some practice sessions. We can help with various different resources. And so do reach out because we would love to help an interview and land those full-time roles. And then another way to make impact, this is shifting off the IC MBA Impact Fellowship, is that we also manage the recruiting and we're partners with the National Park Service. And so that is called the 2021 Business Plan Internship, or the NPS, National Park Service, BPI, Business Plan Internship. And so that's a really amazing opportunity if you love consulting work, if you also love the great outdoors and want to live and work in and for a national park for the summer, that is right up your alley. So you can also find that on our website, inspiringcapital.ly/fellowship/national-parks. And so those are just another opportunity if you're nature-y, purpose-driven, and want to pair those two things together. So that's all I have for you. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Again, this is not a live session, so there's not live Q&A, but some of the typical questions I get are, about commitment, and we went through that weekly, a week in the life of a fellow. And so there's some pre-work, there's a live session. It's pretty much the gist of it. And if you know if you're a right fit, you're going to feel really passionate about just about being a purpose-driven professional and having a social impact or purposeful career in general. And so if that rings a bell with you, you are in the right spot, and we hope that you would pair your paid internship with our professional development opportunity for your summer, because we think you'd get a lot out of it, and we'd love to have you become a part of that IC community, network, family. We're all very, I would say, authentic and vulnerable. We only want the best for our fellows, and so we look forward to seeing your applications come through. If you have any questions, again, my email is sarah@inspiringcapital.ly, and that's Sarah with an H. But I'm happy to talk to anyone, look forward to connecting, and I wish you all the best. All right, thank you. Bye.